The Brady Bunch was more than just a television show. The Brady Bunch was a TV comfort zone. There were bright colors, upbeat music, and then there was the blended family that always had a way to work everything out. The Brady Bunch was a success right away, lasted for years, and launched the show's young cast members into instant stardom. However, the really entertaining part about this show that looks so perfect has plenty of imperfect episodes that include little flubs, comical bloopers, and surprising behind-the-scenes anecdotes that audiences never picked up on back then. From cast crushes to behind-the-scenes crew blunders, the Brady Bunch scripts contain more surprises behind the scenes than audiences ever picked up on. Take a look below at this popular television show and discover the secrets that have been right before our eyes the entire time. The family that changed the television landscape forever. The Brady Bunch was not just another television show. The Brady Bunch was a warm, happy, feel-good show that had audiences wanting to leave their own behind. The story first aired in 1969 and ran successfully for 5 years until its conclusion in 1974 on the American Broadcasting Company, ABC. The show followed the adventures of the large blended family, the boys and the girls, after their parents decided to get remarried. This concept was the first that combined multiple families coming together to become one. The Brady Bunch was certainly the first show that audiences ever saw with multiple families blending together after the parents remarried. The Brady Bunch ended its first cycle on the airwaves before really gaining much popularity. However, after the show had been canceled, children and teenagers quickly fell in love with the addition of the show syndicated in television broadcasts in 1975. Before long, it was everywhere. There were more reunion movies, spin-off series including The Brady Bunch Hour, The Brady Girls Get Married, The Brady Brides, and even a very Brady Christmas film. The popularity that the family received did not dwindle after the show left the airwaves. Instead, it kept coming back in other ways right through the 90s. In fact, the show was made into comedy movies that lasted for years in the mid-90s era in 1995 and 1996. The Brady Bunch story even made the leap to the big screen, where the show became comedy movies in 1995 and 1996. Then, in 2002, there was another television movie featuring the Bradys in the White House. Very few series get a second life as a television movie. One thing that is humorous is that, back when it originally aired, it did not get good reviews and it did not have enormous ratings. However, years down the road, it became an icon. Those who remembered it as a kid did not forget it. In fact, one episode, Getting Davy Jones, is considered one of the greatest television episodes aired. To this day, every family knows the square opening screen. The square opening screen is still iconic even today. The thought that it is watching these kids argue, giggle, and learn together as a blended family is actually rather remarkable. The premise, though, is actually pretty easy to understand. Mike Brady, a widower, is an architect, and he had 3 boys, Greg, Peter, and Bobby. Carol had 3 girls, Marcia, Jan, and Cindy. Eventually, they got married, and their 6 became one, and Carol's girls all took the Brady last name. The family also had a housekeeper named Alice, who, although not directly their parent, certainly had a lot of love to offer. The series took place in a large 2-story house that was conveniently located not too close but not too far in a quiet suburban area of Los Angeles, and even Mike, a widower, had designed their home in their series/items. But one thing that did not go unnoticed, though, was that they did not tell any storyline as to what happened to Carol's first husband. The person behind the Brady Bunch series, Sherwood Schwartz, always thought that Carol was actually a divorced person. Yet ABC did not want it back then, since America at that time was a more conservative nation, and if divorce is mentioned, it is obviously taboo on television, as it could fear America as a whole, and thus it all just remained a mystery regardless. The family, though, did manage to work. The series' first year was all about these 2 families trying to come together and learn how to live among themselves, learning how to get along, how to cope with arguments, and how to adapt to the new family dynamic. Even as far back as that, there's even one special episode where Carol tells Bobby, the only steps in this house are the steps that go upstairs, meaning that they're not exactly a step family anyway, just a family, and that it is not a concern at all. Right after that, though, it broke back down into some more teenage troubles, childhood issues, crushes, and jealousy as all six adopted their teenage years appropriately as they continued to grow up. Nothing huge happened, no politics, no serious issues. Even though the war in Vietnam was going on in the real world, the Brady kids kept it light, soft, and family-friendly. This kept going. This kept steady. Yet, it's also important to note, maybe because the program appeared to be the picture of sweetness, not everything happening behind the camera scenes was just as pleasant. Some of the relationships between the actors and what went down behind the scenes also became nearly as interesting as the stuff happening in front of the camera. Of course, the iconic statement regarding those stairs did not remain locked in the series. This statement makes it into history books today. The actors who played the Bradys. This group of actors became legendary. In the opening credits, the faces of the 9 actors appeared as a 3x3 grid looking around in different squares. This was unlike other series. It is still unique today. It's just so unique it's been referred to as the Brady Bunch effect. It worked. It went over huge. This particular series opening would someday rank among the greatest series opening scenes of all time. Robert Reed played the role of Mike. Florence Henderson played the role of Carol, and the loyal housekeeper Alice's role went to actress and B. Davis. But it wasn't time for the parents. It was time for the kids. Maura McCormick played the role of Marcia. Actress Eve Plum played the role of Jan. Actress Susan Olsen played the role of Cindy. Barry Williams played the role of Greg. Christopher Knight played the role of Peter, and the role of Bobby went to Michael Lookinland. This group of actors formed a family folks would have wanted to be a part of. But none of the children were easy to choose. In fact, it took 264 children going through an interview process. This also meant holding onto the blonde and brunette stand-ins in the event the parents of the kids did not meet the requirements of the color of the family. At the time, another actress, Joyce Bulifant, nearly landed Carol's role. Joyce played a funny, bubbly girl. Yet when a maverick actress Annette Davis landed the role of Alice, it seems the producers decided she provided the exact amount of fun needed. Another similar girl was needed, yet a different kind of girl. Florence Henderson went on to get the job. It seems the producers were looking for a girl who would represent a more steady and down-to-earth mother. As it pertains to the role of Mike Brady, the fellow who went up to audition first turned out to be a no-show. Another who did try, even make it past the audition process, did not have the right experience. Yet another who did try out for the role of Mike Brady, actor Gene Hackman. Yes, the same Gene Hackman who later became a huge Hollywood movie star, although he had not yet achieved fame at that point. Robert Reed, who already had television experience, got the role. These decisions would eventually impact the creation of one of the most iconic TV families in television history. And although the TV viewer enjoyed the chemistry depicted on their screen, the chemistry between the actors was not necessarily the best at all times. Some actors formed close relationships, some had clashes, and some had personal struggles. Nonetheless, all these elements simply made their story even more human and even more fascinating to hear when looking back at them. The Brady world did not end when the final cut was put on television either. The Brady Bunch, the hit television show, did not vanish when the last episode ended its journey. The fans simply enjoyed them so much that home entertainment providers made sure they got endless editions to enjoy again and again. They were released on 5 seasons of the much-loved series by Paramount Home Entertainment in the United States and North America, starting 2005. Another company, CBS Home Entertainment, later took over the home video rights. Nonetheless, Paramount assisted in the home video distributions. The much-loved Brady family's adventure also traveled to other countries around the globe, demonstrating that the Brady family's magic lives far, far away in the United States. The fans received another special treat in 2007. They released the complete set containing the original television series, the famous Christmas television movie, A Very Brady Christmas, and the Brady 500, spawned from the later television hit, The Bradys. They also threw in 2 episodes featuring the cartoon television spin-off, The Brady Kids. The television set was crafted to resemble a complete 1970s set. Green carpet print, wood panel designs. It was perfect for the television set. 8 years had passed, and in 2015, another complete set was released at a cheaper price, although this time without the special edition disc. A Very Brady Christmas, another Christmas favorite, released in 2017 separately on a special edition home video titled